Clint Eastwood was born in 1930 in San Francisco, in a time when the country was struggling through the Great Depression. From the very beginning, his childhood was shaped by change and uncertainty. His family moved often, following the unpredictable rhythms of his father's work, and every relocation brought a fresh start and a new challenge. Young Clint rarely stayed in one place long enough to feel truly rooted, and this early instability shaped the way he understood the world. He learned that home could be temporary, that comfort was fleeting, and that expectations could change overnight. As a child, he was tall for his age, quiet, and observant, qualities that set him apart from his peers. He often felt a little out of step, not in a way of pride, but in a way that cultivated caution and thoughtfulness. Teasing and minor exclusion became part of the pattern of growing up, and instead of pushing back, he learned to step inward. This early sense of stepping aside and observing before engaging would later become one of his defining traits. Though it began simply as a way to navigate life safely, school too brought its own challenges. He struggled with certain subjects and did not always find traditional classrooms nurturing. Teachers often labeled him unfocused or unmotivated, though the reality was that he was simply adjusting to a life that had rarely offered predictability. Even expulsion from high school, which followed a series of youthful pranks, became a quiet lesson that success and acceptance were never guaranteed. Over time, Clint internalized the idea that he would need to rely on himself, learn through experience, and face life's uncertainties without expecting outside support. These early lessons of self-reliance, patience, and observation became the foundation for the man who would later navigate the pressures of Hollywood and life with a calm and measured presence. Lessons from early adulthood. In his early 20s, Clint Eastwood's life took him into the military, an experience that added both challenge and clarity to his young adulthood. In 1951, a memorable incident occurred during a flight over the California coast, when the aircraft ran low on fuel, forcing him into the ocean. He swam for hours through cold waters, aware of the strength and endurance it required, quietly relying on himself to make it through. The experience left a deep impression, not as a dramatic tale of heroism, but as a quiet understanding that calm, steady effort was essential in moments of uncertainty. It was not confidence that guided him. It was a habit formed from years of learning how to endure. Eastwood left the military without a sense of entitlement or guarantee of success. Instead, he carried habits of resilience and careful observation, qualities that would later guide him through Hollywood's unpredictable world. Early adulthood for Clint was defined by the careful balance of persistence and caution, a steady moving forward without rushing into unknowns or assuming things would go as hoped. His sense of self was quietly growing, shaped less by applause and recognition, and more by the practical lessons of perseverance. Arriving in Hollywood. When Eastwood arrived in Hollywood, he was neither certain of his place nor particularly celebrated. The 1950s and 1960s brought a long period of small roles, rejection, and quiet determination. He appeared briefly in minor films and was often critiqued for lacking presence or charisma, but he kept working. Every setback echoed lessons from childhood. Expectations could be withdrawn, recognition was temporary, and stability had to be earned through effort. Even after securing a contract with Universal Studios, the work was modest, and his contributions were often undervalued. Yet, Eastwood persisted, working odd jobs and continuing auditions, motivated not by fame, but by a simple commitment to remain in motion. When he finally found steady employment on the television series Rawhide, the consistency offered him a new kind of stability, but it was not free from challenge. Long hours, outdoor sets, and a repetitive role demanded discipline and quiet endurance. Praise came and went, but Eastwood had learned to rely on preparation and personal responsibility rather than outside validation. The role gave him financial stability and public recognition, yet it also reinforced an understanding that true security came from within. Every moment, every scene, and every hour on set reinforced his commitment to self-reliance, endurance, and thoughtful action. Hollywood was teaching him, in its own way, lessons that mirrored those of his early life. The importance of patience, the necessity of focus, and the quiet power of steady perseverance. Transition to film and directing. As Eastwood moved from television into film, the stakes increased, and so did his understanding of responsibility. Filmmaking demanded a balance of vision, discipline, and care, and directing allowed him to create a sense of rhythm and control that had long been missing from his professional life. Behind the camera, he could shape his environment and guide his team with thoughtfulness and precision. Directing was less about ego or ambition than it was about creating a sustainable, thoughtful space where he could do his best work without unnecessary chaos. It required careful planning, attention to detail, and a willingness to carry responsibility quietly. This phase of his life reflected the lessons he had absorbed throughout childhood and early career. That preparation and steady effort often mattered more than praise, and that meaningful work often required calm focus over outward recognition. The discipline and care he brought to filmmaking became part of his artistic signature, producing work marked by clarity, deliberate pacing, and a subtle exploration of human experience, navigating loss and change. Throughout his life, Eastwood faced the inevitable experiences of loss and change, each one leaving an impression that shaped him further. When his father passed in 1970, Clint was confronted with the quiet absence of someone who had been present, but not deeply expressive in their relationship. Years later, when his mother experienced health challenges in her late 90s, Eastwood faced another chapter of letting go, learning once again the balance between control and acceptance. Personal relationships brought joy, but also complexity. His first marriage, which began in 1953, reflected hope, companionship, and the challenges of building a life alongside growing professional demands. Long absences and the pressures of success introduced distance, and subsequent relationships carried their own patterns of care, tension, and quiet struggle. Throughout these experiences, Eastwood's approach remained consistent. He valued stability, considered the well-being of those he loved, and continued to carry responsibilities quietly. The private nature of his relationships reflected the broader life he had always known, one where perseverance, observation, and quiet commitment mattered more than public affirmation. Love, family, and relationships. Clint Eastwood's personal life was rich and complicated, marked by love, growth, and adaptation. His relationships, whether marriages or partnerships, were not always simple or easy, but they shaped him profoundly. He fathered children in different chapters of his life, each bringing joy and responsibility, and each adding depth to his understanding of family and connection. Love in Eastwood's life was often approached carefully, with attention to timing, circumstances, and practicalities. While he sometimes appeared distant, he offered care and support in ways that reflected his values and experiences. Over decades, he learned to balance professional demands, personal needs, and family responsibilities, creating a life that was full yet quietly structured, reflecting a deep sense of duty and thoughtfulness, work ethic, and creative vision. Eastwood's career reflects not only his talent, but also his dedication to craft and responsibility. From early roles that required patience and endurance to later directing projects demanding vision and careful orchestration, his approach was consistent, thoughtful, deliberate, and quietly persistent. He sought to understand people, explore consequences, and portray complexity, both on screen and behind the camera. His films often reflect subtle truths about life, responsibility, and the human condition, shaped by years of observation, reflection, and personal experience. Violence in his work was never glorified. Authority was nuanced, and characters often faced consequences that mirrored the real-world complexity Eastwood had observed. The themes of reflection, restraint, and endurance, central to many of his works, were extensions of his own life lessons. Later life reflections. As Eastwood aged, he maintained a rhythm that balanced work, reflection, and the quiet enjoyment of life. He remained engaged with filmmaking, demonstrating a remarkable commitment to craft and continuity. Publicly, he is remembered for strength, control, and longevity in his career. But privately, he has lived a life shaped by careful observation, responsibility, and resilience. Loss, change, and life's unpredictability remained constants, but he navigated them with the same quiet patience and determination that had guided him for decades. His later work reflects an ongoing dialogue with life itself, a meditation on consequences, choices, and the passage of time. Through it all, he has carried himself with dignity, care, and the understated wisdom that comes from a lifetime of observing, enduring, and learning. Legacy and enduring impact. Clint Eastwood's legacy is not only one of cinematic achievement, but also a reflection of character formed through experience. Audiences see the disciplined, talented, and thoughtful filmmaker, but behind that image lies a life shaped by perseverance, patience, and enduring commitment to both craft and family. His films carry a quiet depth because he understands, in ways most only glimpse, the value of endurance, the weight of decisions, and the importance of reflection. In every project, in every role, there is an echo of his own life lessons. Stability must be earned, care and thoughtfulness matter, and the quiet moments are as meaningful as the dramatic ones. Eastwood's story is one of steady accumulation of experience, a reminder that strength is often built quietly, over time, and that a life lived with care and persistence leaves a lasting mark far beyond the applause.